Choice here. Thank you again for joining me again for another session of Choice Spirit. Hey, I had someone say, well, I'm dealing with this stuff now. I'm here on this planet now, dealing with all of this stuff that's going on now. What do you say to a person that's going through that? Because we all have something that we're dealing with and we're going through. And someone telling you that you can change your condition, you can change things by the renewing of your mind. You can change what you believe that you are receiving or are perceiving, what you believe that you are seeing. You can change it. Someone's talking about this, people are talking about this, and you have those of us that we're just so doubtful. We can't seem to get it because it's happening. And you cannot tell us it's not happening. And you cannot tell us that it's because of the way that we're thinking. Why? You cannot tell us because of the way that we are thinking. Why? We're experiencing some of the things that we're experiencing. Why this pandemic is going on globally. How did that happen? How does that happen? And how are you saying that it's all within our imagination? This tea is real. This is what people are believing. So how do we, with such a collective belief in a narrative, they say we're dealing with this now. You can't tell me that they're not ready to put forth some kind of vaccine. You can't tell me that racism doesn't exist. You can't tell me that there are all types of atrocities going on globally that I have some type of say in or control over. This is the belief. This is the mindset. This is the mentality that we are caught up in. The belief that we have no control over all that's going on. That there is no greater power. There's not a greater power within us that can turn it all around. And that has put the laws in place. You see, what happens is that we have this thing called free will. And we have the free will to create and call forth and be a part of any scenario, any saga, any story. We have been given that gift by the Most High. So we can choose to be victims or not. We can choose to call forth our own story or not. But this is difficult for people to see when they're in the midst of a storm. It's almost like you're in the midst of the storm with no way out. You can't see any way out. But the only way, as has been written in all of our holy books, is by the renewing of the mind. by the renewing of your mind. And the greatest thing is, there is enough of us who will already know this. And that is the power that is now going to shift things in another direction, in a different direction than what they had written for us. Know that. Know that by the renewing of your mind. And that there is enough of us that has tilted it in the other direction who already knows this. So we need another story. That of freedom, that of love, that of compassion, that of joy, that of all types of wonderful things that we are here to experience. Sometimes it's like, how much can I say? How much can I say? How much can I reveal? There isn't anything that I can say that's not already been said. But there is a lack of knowledge or even desire to understand, as one of my brothers would say, or understand what is really going on. We have all been given the gift to create by the way of our minds and our emotions and our feelings. We have been given the free will to call forth any life we desire. But yet, so few of us use it on purpose. But there are the elite few who know how to use this, who knows how to use this gift. It is our nature to be able to create the life or whatever it is we choose to have or experience in our lives. We don't have to feed into this thing, this narrative. We don't have to keep listening to the stories without knowing that we have the power. Right now, it seems that we can't get away from the stories. We can't get away from it because everywhere we look, we're reminded. Everywhere we go, everything that we observe, everything we hear is a reminder. But that's by design, that's on purpose, because there is a group who wants us to buy into this thing, to believe this thing, hook, line, and sinker, to believe it with our whole mind and heart. But it's not reality. That gets kind of shaky. What do you mean it's not reality? We're living it. We're living it. No, we are living in a story that we subscribe to. We are living in a narrative that we decided we participate in. This story that's going on now on this planet needs our attention. It needs us so that it can play out. And the greatest thing is, there is enough of us that knows this. Whereas before, those that knew were a little, because they thought that the majority or everyone that didn't know was going to drag us in and keep us further entrapped in this narrative. But that's not what's happening. Plus, we have This is not your story. Tell another story. Design your own story. Live in appreciation that you have that you were given the free will to choose. And you do not have to subscribe to anything you do not choose to have in your life. Yeah, as a collective, but right now that's changing. So wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. We need everyone on board. Change your mind, renew your mind. Know all power is with you. Why? Because the Most High gave it to you. And there are universal laws that we will talk about in another video. Universal laws that God, the Most High, eternal love, has put in place. And all we have to do is live by those laws. It's just that simple. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's one life. You got one life. I mean, you'll come back here for other lives, but right now you're living this one life. Make it count. Make it your own story. Don't subscribe to this mess that they've already written and planned in boardrooms and went over and brainstormed about and came up with all kinds of ways they're going to make people believe this. Right now they're trying to get our children back in school so they can begin planting the seeds of this narrative that they wrote out. Well, anyway, thank you so much. Choice here. Hit the subscribe. Thank you so very much for joining me. Peace.